My precious child, in the quiet moments when doubt whispers and uncertainty clouds your mind, I want you to hear this truth. Your faith is stronger than you realize. I see how you question yourself, wondering if your faith is enough. But what you view as weakness, I see as warrior spirit. Remember the mustard seed I spoke of? That tiny seed that grows into a mighty tree. That's your faith. Perhaps feeling small in your eyes, but carrying within it the potential to move mountains. Every time you choose to trust despite your doubts, that seed grows stronger. I see the silent battles you fight in your mind. The moments when you wonder if I'm really listening, if I'm really working, if I'm really there. Yet here you are, still seeking, still believing, still holding on. That's not weakness, beloved. That's faith in its purest form. Your faith isn't measured by your feelings or your fears. It's measured by your choices. Every time you choose to pray, despite uncertainty, every time you choose to trust, despite circumstances, every time you choose to believe despite appearances, your faith grows stronger. Think of Abraham, who hoped against hope. He didn't feel strong in his faith when looking at his aged body or Sarah's barren womb, but he chose to believe anyway. That's what you're doing right now, choosing to believe despite what your natural eyes can see. The enemy wants you to think that having questions means your faith is weak. But think of Thomas, who doubted yet still remained with the disciples. Think of John the Baptist, who questioned from prison, yet was called the greatest prophet. Your questions don't diminish your faith. They're part of its growth. I see how you compare your faith to others, thinking theirs must be stronger because they seem more certain, more confident, more unwavering. But faith isn't about appearance. It's about perseverance. And you, my child, have persevered through storms that would have shipwrecked many others. Your faith is like a muscle being strengthened through resistance. Every doubt you overcome, every fear you face, every uncertainty you push through, these are spiritual workout sessions, building spiritual strength. The very challenges that feel like they're weakening your faith are actually strengthening it. Remember Peter walking on water? Many focus on his sinking, but I focus on his stepping out. That's you. Maybe feeling like you're sinking sometimes, but still brave enough to step out of the boat. Still courageous enough to trust me in deep waters. The fact that you're reading these words right now is evidence of your faith. When others might have given up, you're still seeking. When others might have walked away, you're still listening. When others might have hardened their hearts, you're still open to my voice. Your faith isn't weak because you struggle. It's strong because you continue. It's not weak because you question. It's strong because you keep seeking answers. It's not weak because you feel uncertain. It's strong because you choose to trust anyway. I see the private moments when you whisper prayers through tears, when you hold on to my promises even though your grip feels shaky, when you choose to believe even when believing feels impossible. These moments aren't signs of weak faith. They're evidence of faith that refuses to quit. Think of a tree in a storm. Its strength isn't in standing perfectly still, but in its ability to bend without breaking. Your faith is like that, flexible enough to endure doubts and questions, yet strong enough to remain rooted in my truth. The very fact that you worry about your faith being strong enough shows that you care deeply about your relationship with me. That caring, that desire to have stronger faith, is itself a sign of healthy, growing faith. You don't need perfect faith. You just need living faith. Faith that keeps reaching, keeps seeking, keeps believing even if it's through tears. That's the kind of faith you have, and it moves my heart more than you know. As you reflect on this truth, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. to join our community of faith and inspiration. Let me tell you something powerful about the challenges you're facing. They're not destroying your faith. They're developing it. Like a master craftsman who knows exactly how much heat the metal needs. I'm using these trials to refine your faith into something unshakable. Those moments when your faith feels tested to its limits, that's not the enemy winning. That's your spiritual muscles growing stronger. Just as physical strength comes through resistance, spiritual strength comes through overcoming challenges. Every battle you face is a divine training ground. I see how you sometimes question why your faith must endure such testing. Remember Job. His faith wasn't tested because it was weak, but because it was strong. The enemy challenged him because his faith was a threat. Your trials aren't a sign of weakness. They're proof that your faith poses a threat to darkness. Think of David facing Goliath. His faith didn't develop in the moment of battle. It was forged in lonely fields while protecting sheep, strengthened through unseen battles with lions and bears. Similarly, your faith is being strengthened through daily challenges that seem small, but are crucial preparation for greater victories. The storms that feel like they might break you are actually revealing how unbreakable your faith has become. Like a tree whose roots grow deeper with every wind that tries to uproot it, your faith is developing deep roots through every challenge it faces. Remember how Peter's faith grew stronger after his failures? The very moments that felt like defeat became stepping stones to stronger faith. Your perceived failures aren't fatal. They're fertilizer for faith that's growing deeper and stronger than ever before. I see you comparing your faith journey to others, wondering why your path seems more challenging. But remember, I don't mass-produce faith. Each journey is uniquely designed. Your challenges are specifically chosen to develop the exact kind of faith needed for your calling. Those nights when you lie awake, wrestling with doubts, they're not signs of weak faith. They're proof that your faith is alive and growing. Dead faith doesn't wrestle. It doesn't question. It doesn't seek deeper understanding. Your wrestling matches with doubt are actually strength training sessions for your faith. Think of Abraham climbing Mount Moriah with Isaac. Each step felt like it was weakening his faith, but each step was actually strengthening it. Similarly, every difficult step you take in obedience, even when you don't understand, is strengthening your faith beyond what you can see. The enemy wants you to believe, that strong faith never struggles, never questions, never wavers. But look at my servants throughout Scripture. They all faced moments of uncertainty. What made their faith strong wasn't the absence of struggles, but their persistence through them. Your faith is being tempered like steel, heated in the furnace of trials, hammered by challenges, cooled by my presence, and emerging stronger each time. What feels like pressure is actually preparation. What feels like pain is actually progress. I see how carefully you guard your faith, how preciously you protect it through trials. This too is strength, knowing the value of what you carry, fighting to maintain it, refusing to let circumstances steal it away. Your vigilance in protecting your faith proves its worth to you. Those moments when you choose to believe despite every circumstance screaming otherwise, that's not blind faith. That's battle-tested faith. Faith that's been through the fire and discovered that I am faithful. Faith that's faced impossibilities and seen me make a way. Your faith is growing stronger through every unanswered question you still choose to trust me with. Through every delayed promise you still choose to believe in. Through every difficult circumstance you still choose to praise through. This is the making of unshakable faith. Remember the widow who kept pouring oil until every vessel was filled. Your faith is like that, continuing to pour out trust even when it seems impossible, continuing to believe even when it doesn't make sense. This persistence is building spiritual capacity you don't yet realize you have. The very challenges that feel like they're testing your faith to its limits are actually revealing its limitless potential. Like a muscle that discovers new strength under pressure, your faith is discovering new depths of power through these trials. Let me share with you the power of your persistent faith. This unwavering decision to keep believing even when the path seems unclear. Every time you choose to trust me one more day, one more hour, one more moment, you're demonstrating a faith that moves mountains. Your persistent faith isn't just endurance, it's warfare. Every declaration of trust, every choice to believe, every moment of holding on to my promises is a spiritual weapon that's more powerful than you realize. The enemy trembles at persistent faith because he knows it always leads to victory. Think of the woman with the issue of blood who pressed through the crowd. Her persistence wasn't desperation, it was determination. That's you, beloved. When circumstances try to hold you back, when doubts try to stop you, when fears try to paralyze you, you keep pressing toward me. That's powerful faith in action. I see how you maintain your faith, even when it feels like you're standing alone. Like Elijah, who thought he was the only one left, you sometimes feel isolated in your belief. But just as I had 7,000 who hadn't bowed to Baal, your persistent faith is inspiring others you can't even see. Your faith has staying power, the kind that outlasts the storm, outweighs the night, outdistances the doubt. This isn't the hot faith of temporary excitement. This is the deep faith of tested conviction. It's not faith that needs constant affirmation. It's faith that stands on my word alone. Remember the persistent widow who wouldn't stop knocking. Her persistence wasn't a sign of weak faith. It was evidence of unshakable conviction. Your continuous prayers, your repeated declarations, your refusing to give up, these aren't signs of doubt, but proof of determined faith. The enemy tries to discourage you by pointing out how long you've been believing, how long you've been waiting, how long you've been trusting. But he doesn't understand that every moment of persistent faith is actually strengthening your spiritual authority. Time doesn't weaken true faith, it deepens it. Like Moses holding up his hands during battle, your persistent faith is affecting outcomes you can't see. Yes, sometimes your arms grow weary. Yes, sometimes you need others to help hold them up. But you keep holding on, keep believing, keep declaring. That's the foe that wins battles. Your faith isn't just lasting, it's building. Every challenge it endures, every storm it weathers, every mountain it faces, adds another layer of strength. Like a pearl that forms layer by layer, your persistent faith is creating something precious and valuable. I see the private moments when you choose to believe again, when you pick up your faith after disappointment, when you decide to trust one more time. These aren't moments of weakness. They're moments of incredible spiritual strength. Your willingness to believe again shows the resilience of your faith. Think of Noah building the ark day after day, year after year, with no rain in sight. His persistent faith wasn't just about believing. It was about continuing to act on that belief. Your daily choices to live by faith, to walk in trust, to act on my promises, that's the same kind of faith that moves my heart. Your persistent faith is like a river cutting through rock, not by force, but by constant flow. It might seem like nothing is happening, but every moment of choosing to believe is carving out victories, creating pathways, establishing breakthroughs that will be revealed in due time. The enemy wants you to see your need for persistent faith as a weakness, but I see it as a weapon. Every time you choose to believe again, every time you rise up after disappointment, every time you declare my promises despite circumstances, you're wielding a weapon that hell cannot withstand. Your faith has learned the power of yet. You might not see the answer yet, but you keep believing. You might not feel the breakthrough yet, but you keep trusting. You might not understand the process yet, but you keep following. This yet faith is undefeatable. Remember the Shunammite woman who declared, "It is well," even when her son had died. That's the kind of faith you're developing. Faith that declares victory before seeing it. Faith that claims promises before their manifestation. Faith that stands firm when everything seems lost. Let's talk about those moments of doubt that try to cloud your faith. Those whispered questions, those creeping uncertainties, those subtle fears. Know this: having doubts doesn't mean your faith is failing. It means your faith is fighting. And that's exactly what strong faith does. Your doubts are not your destiny. They're just part of your development. Like Thomas, who doubted yet became a powerful apostle, your questions aren't preventing your purpose. They're preparing you for it. Every doubt you overcome becomes a stepping stone to stronger faith. I see how you sometimes feel guilty for questioning, for wondering, for struggling to understand. But remember David in the Psalms. He questioned, he wondered, he struggled, yet he was still a man after my heart. Your honest wrestling with doubt shows the authenticity of your faith. Think of John the Baptist. Even after declaring, "Behold the Lamb of God," he had moments of questioning. Did that make his faith weak? No, it made it real. Your moments of uncertainty don't diminish your faith. They prove it's genuine enough to withstand examination. The enemy wants you to believe that doubt is the opposite of faith. But true faith isn't the absence of doubt. It's the overcoming of it. Every time you choose to believe despite your doubts, your faith grows stronger. Every question you bring to me, instead of running from me, builds trust. Your doubts are like weights. In a spiritual gym, they feel heavy. They create resistance, but there's building spiritual muscle. Each time you push through doubt back into faith, you're growing stronger. Each question you work through becomes a foundation for unshakable conviction. I see those private battles when doubt whispers, "What if?" and your faith answers, "Even if." That's not weakness, that's warfare. That's your faith developing resilience. Learning to stand not because there are no questions, but because my promises outweigh them all. Remember Peter walking on water. He had enough faith to step out of the boat, doubted when he saw the waves, but still cried out to me when sinking. That's the journey of real faith, daring to step out, honest enough to acknowledge fears, wise enough to keep reaching for me through it all. Your faith isn't fragile. It doesn't shatter at the first question or crumble under examination. It's robust, resilient, real. Like gold that's tested in fire, your faith emerges purer and stronger from every encounter with doubt. Those moments when you feel torn between what you see and what I've promised. That's not doubt defeating your faith. That's your faith learning to see beyond natural circumstances. Every time you choose my promises over your perceptions, your spiritual vision grows clearer. Think of Abraham, who hoped against hope. He faced the ultimate doubt, the seeming impossibility of having a child at his age. Yet he chose to believe anyway. Your faith shows the same strength when you choose to trust, despite what seems impossible. The questions that keep you awake at night aren't your weakness. They're opportunities for deeper revelation. Every doubt you bring to me becomes a door through which greater understanding can enter. Your willingness to face your doubts honestly shows the maturity of your faith. I see how carefully you guard your heart, When doubt comes knocking, like a watchman on the walls, you're alert to anything that might threaten your faith. This vigilance isn't fear, it's wisdom. It shows you understand the value of what you carry. Your faith has learned to stand, not because it never questions, but because it knows where to bring those questions. Like a tree with deep roots, it can bend with the winds of doubt without breaking, because it's anchored in something stronger than uncertainty. Remember Gideon. He started with doubts and questions, but ended up leading a mighty victory. Your doubts don't disqualify you. They're part of your development into a mighty warrior of faith. Every question you overcome becomes part of your testimony. Now, beloved, let me show you where this journey of faith is leading, into a victory more glorious than you can imagine. Your faith isn't just surviving, it's being positioned for triumph. Every battle you've faced, every doubt you've overcome, every moment you've chosen to believe has been preparation for this season of breakthrough. The victory of your faith isn't just in reaching your destination, it's in who you're becoming along the way. Like David, who entered the valley as a shepherd, but emerged as a giant slayer, your faith is transforming you into a spiritual warrior whose testimony will inspire generations. I see the fruit of your faithful persistence beginning to blossom. Those prayers you've prayed in tears, those promises you've clung to in darkness, those declarations you've made against all odds. They're creating a harvest of breakthrough that's about to manifest in ways you never expected. Your faith has been tested, but not to break it, to prove it. Like Job, who emerged from his trials with double portion restoration, your tested faith is positioning you for blessings that will make others stand in awe of my faithfulness. The enemy's attempts to destroy your faith are backfiring, creating testimonies of triumph. Remember how the 3 Hebrew children declared "even if" before facing the fiery furnace. Your faith has developed that same unshakable quality, not just believing for deliverance, but standing firm regardless of circumstances. This is the faith that moves heaven and earth. The victory of your faith isn't just personal, it's generational. Like Abraham, whose faith opened doors for nations, your persistent belief is creating pathways not just for you, but for others who will follow in your footsteps of faith. Your struggles are becoming strategies for others' victories. I see how your faith has matured through every season. What started as a mustard seed has grown into an unshakable tree of conviction. The storms that were meant to uproot you have only caused your roots to grow deeper. This is the victory of persistent faith. It doesn't just survive, it thrives. Your faith's victory is already settled in heaven. What you're experiencing now is just the manifestation process. Like Joshua marching around Jericho, every circle of faith you make, every declaration you speak, every moment you choose to believe is bringing down walls that once seemed impenetrable. Think of Esther, who stepped into her destiny through faith. Your faith is similarly positioning you for such a time as this. The challenges that have tested your faith haven't delayed your destiny. They've been preparing you to carry the weight of glory that's coming. The enemy tried to wear down your faith, but instead, he's worn out his own weapons. Like David collecting 5 smooth stones, but needing only 1. Your faith has developed precision through persistence. What the enemy meant for defeat has become your training for triumph. Your faith's victory isn't just in what you receive, but in who you've become. Like Moses, whose face shone after intimate encounters with me, your faith has transformed you. The glory of unwavering trust, persistent belief, and tested conviction now marks your spiritual countenance. I see the authority your faith has gained through every battle. Like Paul, who learned to be content in every situation, Your faith has developed a stability that circumstances can't shake. This is victory, not just receiving answers, but becoming unshakable regardless of situations. The breakthroughs beginning to manifest in your life aren't just answers to prayer. They're trophies of faith that persevered. Like the walls of Jericho that fell on the seventh day, your persistent faith is about to see manifestations that will testify to my faithfulness for generations. Your faith has learned to celebrate victory before seeing it, to declare triumph before experiencing it, to rest in promises before their manifestation. This is the highest form of faith, the kind that knows the battle is already won, because I have declared it so. Remember Sarah, who received strength to conceive, because she judged me faithful, who had promised. Your faith has developed that same conviction, judging me faithful, not based on circumstances, but on my character. This is the faith that moves mountains, the faith that changes destinies. This is your season of faith's victory, not just in receiving what you've believed for, but in becoming what your faith has been shaping you to be. Every tear, every battle, every moment of choosing to believe has been worth it. Your faith hasn't just survived. It's thriving, transforming, and triumphing. Rise up in this truth, my faithful one. Your faith is strong, tested, proven, and positioned for victory. What you've believed for is manifesting. What you've declared is materializing. What you've trusted for is transforming from promise to reality. This is your faith's finest hour, your season of supernatural victory. For your faith has not just endured, it has overcome. It has not just survived, it has thrived. And now, it stands ready to receive all that I have promised, all that you have believed for, all that persistent faith has positioned you to inherit. Welcome to your season of faith's ultimate victory. Amen.